Alright, I'm starting recording now.
All right. Let me just
September 6th.
quickly explain the combat rules as well, Nicholas. There's no to hit, everything goes on damage. And when the hit protection / hit points are gone, it goes to strength, sometimes dexterity. And when you get hit by that, then you have to take a save. And if you fail the save, you are knocked unconscious. And if the strength or strength gets to 0, then you're dead. So that's pretty much it. And then you have an armor value. And if I say the rat hits and it becomes 4 damage, then you subtract your armor value before having the real number. So if you have 1 armor, I say 4, you should heal 3. That's actually all it is. And if you roll your d8 or d whatever it is, just say the number that comes up, and I'll subtract the monster's armor. And in each combat should only last a few hits, basically. So
I think you can see here, so it should be fine.
You have 2d6 or 1d6?
No, my damage is a d6. I got a stick I found on the ground.
All right. I will take that. And Solana, you have also a dice on screen, or are you going to say the numbers?
Yeah, I will roll the dice.
Is Honor rolling for his little guy too? Or are you rolling for the drunken guy?
I would like Solana to roll for that guy in combat and in general.
Yep.
Someone. I heard you. I got you.
And just open up the screen.
I understood the message.
Click.
I'm responsible for the hirelings I bring along.
Yeah.
Yes. There we go.
Pips.
Okay. Okay. And yeah, what else? I have to go at like 15:15. I have to really run out the door. So maybe we should stop at 15.
Okay.
Yeah, we
so
stop
that's...
at 15.
Okay. When is that? Wait, is that 2 hours from now?
It's in 1.5 hours from now.
Yeah, 90 minutes.
Let's go then. Let's go.
All right. So it is fall, and the mice are busy bringing in the harvests all over the forest. The mouse settlement of Acorn Gate is an ancient oak, hollowed out trunk where the mice have made little apartments in the inside, connected by stairs and ladders, and even platforms on the outside of the trunk here and there, where a mouse hole peeks out. And this is where we find our ale master, Terragon Grant, doing his daily duties.
Cleaning up after myself. Collecting some morsels for breakfast. Looking out over the fields. Quite a slow morning, it seems.
The somebody's knocking on the door fervently, exactly the same time as day as always. It is Waddle, cat rising. Waddle is a big mouse. He stands at the opening of the door with his unkempt fur and waits to be waved inside.
Oh, Waddle, my favorite customer. Glad you made it. Come on in. I got the table set up. I say set up, but I clean away some trash that is still left over from last night. It's like a push them onto the floor. Over here.
Are you? You always make space for me. Thank you, Tarek. I owed your father a long tab. You don't suppose you could put a bit more on the tab for me? Of course, I'm willing to work for you as well. Every day the same.
Well, you can help me out with the chores. I just happen to have like a filthy floor at the moment. But let me get you a morning drink. I walk over to my small barrel, the size of myself, of like half a mouse, letting out a big drop into a hazelnut shell, filling it up, and carrying it over to him. There you go, buddy.
Waddle sits himself expectantly at the table with a little space over, grabs the hazelnut, and with a big smile on his snout, he starts enjoying the ale.
Oh, am I glad that we are enjoying just a normal morning with no adventures or city goofballs trying to summon dragons or anything like that.
Exactly. Just like your father always wanted.
And I look outside and think. Maybe I should start collecting for the winter. The leaves are getting quite orange.
Outside, amongst the orange yellow leaves, I'm walking through the leaves, pushing some away with my stick staff. I have a weird way of walking where I overly bob my head side to side as I walk. I'm walking and make my way into the stump quite fast, and I approach the first mouse, and I say, "Excuse me, is here where the great hero Grant lives?"
Grant?
The mouse.
Well, what do you mean, great hero? I'm just a mouse.
I look around, seeing there's only two people in this empty room, and Grant, the great hero Grant, of all mice done. He was my friend.
Terragon, he's talking about your granddad. Don't you recognize the tone of voice? Your dad never talked about him, but I heard all the stories.
Oh. Oh, yeah, you're right. You must mean my grandfather then. Yeah, let me show you where you can find him. Well, and I leave through the door, like beckon him with my mice hand. This way.
I bow in appreciation and follow him, still this weird bobbing walking motion, following silence.
Leading the frog man past the tree stump. We make a small stroll up a grassy hill, and I ask, so what brought you here to look for my grandfather, stranger? You don't look like anyone I've ever seen.
Your grandfather and I are great friends. He helped me, I helped him. I require help once again. Using my stick to walk over the hill.
Oh,
I can help you. I can help you, old frog. Here, take my arm. I'll help you up the hill. And
much appreciated. I hold it to his arm.
Well, you're always such a great help. It's nice having you around.
Thank you. Pleasure to help.
We cressing the top of the hill. A bunch of sticks sticking out of the top with names engraved. And I walk towards a small stone slab with the names etched in Terragon Grant.
I approach and I remove my tiny point head and I hold onto my chest and I croak in a high-pitched voice. I see. The finest mouse in all Mausritter. What a great loss for your kind.
Well, so you say.
Sorry.
I never had the chance to meet him.
Oh, that's a shame. If every mice was like him, there would be no limits for your kind. This forest would be yours to conquer.
Conquer? How? Against the Ant Kingdoms? The roaming beetle mercenaries? The murder of ravens? We are lucky that we can hold on to the tree stump.
I put my hat back on. I blink one eye at a time at Terragon. I've seen your grandfather fend off a raven once.
What? What? Have you met grandfather? How old exactly are you, Frog? He died many years ago. Many years.
Well, yes, I am 4 years old, and I wish to go to my 5th one. That's why I came here, but
Have you seen 4 winters? That must be scary. Really scary.
Well, I see is not quite the word, but yes, I lived through it, and the last few winters very much thanks to Grant. I look at Terragon. But you're his pawn. And I point my staff, almost touching the tip at your chest. Maybe you can take on the legacy. Yes.
I look at the staff and look up at the frog, slightly taller than myself. I don't know. I have to make sure that the town is stocked up with ale. I'm the only brewer here. My father never wanted me to leave outside and see the world, so I took up his mantle.
I put the staff down, walking closer. I hunch over a bit. But when night falls and you stare back at an open roof of the stump, tell me, don't your mind wonder? Don't you wonder about what's out there?
I grab my arm, like awkwardly. I do, Sir Frog. I
So
can't
did
deny it.
your grandfather.
The dreams of being a mouse knight always was in the back of my mind. But what can a simple mouse like me do?
Ha! I've heard Grant say that once. You see, he did not start off as a great hero. He became one. And I was glad to witness it. I would expect no less from his spawn. You are the fur of his fur, as I've heard you say before.
Alright. Let me get some affairs in order.
There'll be pips for you. All I request is help crossing the woods. And you'll come back not only richer, but wiser.
At that time, a chill wind moves through the autumn forest, whipping up leaves, blowing through fur. Waddles shivers, looks around. Many of the mice are starting to gather, the last acorn carrying them into the stop.
I would suggest we go into the morning. The nights can be awful.
Alright. Looks like looks like the brewery is gonna close for the foreseeable future. You can
What?
maybe with the
Closer.
Well, yes. If I'm gonna help this gentleman.
Help. I'll believe it when I see it. I don't look. I'm just. I owe your father a big, a big tap, and that's it. I don't understand this. But you can't close the brewery. Come on.
Well, I'm gonna have to.
Are we gonna get ill?
Well, I like shrug, like. Well, if you really want to, you can come along. I'm gonna have the barrel with me, of course. At the very least, having something on hand to trade and barter with is always helpful. And I might get thirsty.
If you are going on some traveling, you're never coming back, and I can never repay my tab, so I have to go. That's the law, There's nothing I can do about that.
A
I-
ribbit breaks the silence.
A size up Waddle with his quite strong physique for chronically drunk, and think, you know what? If you can help me and the frog on the travel, I will consider the tab paid. How about that?
Waddle looks down at the brave mouse. He looks up to and slumps a bit with his shoulders. As long as you promise that I can open another one. And shivers a bit in his fur, and yeah, he nods.
Then it's a deal. I nod at the frog. Let us depart in the morning.
I rub my hand over my face, spreading some grease. Yes. Very wonderful. There is much to see. You will not regret it. I look at Terragon. You can call me Slick Evermoss. Or Slick.
Slick. Alright. My name is Terragon, grandsire of Terragon. Well, grandson, I guess.
Yes, Terragon.
Waddles. They call me Waters. I don't know why.
I bow to both of them. Now it would be wise to carry something to defend ourselves along the way. Where are your grandfather's belongings?
I have them holed up in at my fireplace. I'll bring them along. Should be. I guess they might be useful for the journey. I start walking down the hill again towards the big stump, past the other mice, collecting the last bits of food for the winter.
The skies have darkened with a few heavy clouds blowing in with the winds, and humidity starting to gather, and the air is crisp, as if waiting for something unspoken to happen. Winter is not far away, but still quite some while.
I'm just following along in silence.
Inside the house, kneeling, gesturing to wait at the table, I open up a chest. Grabbing a set of elegant cloaks, clothes, neatly stitched, a green tunic with a comfortable and wind protective cape, putting it over my marbled tan fur. Getting up, I lift off the hook arm, a stick with a tackle for fishing attached on the end. Ah, this great weapon. That must be the one you're talking about? From my grandfather?
I approach over, looking at the weapon. Ah, yes. Yes. Do you know what your grandfather called it? In your tongue.
So the hook is obviously of very, very high quality, expertly made by the crafter mice. Scavenged, perfectly sharp hook, and etched titan runes on its shaft, glowing faintly with unseen energy.
Your grandfather called it cat blinder.
I look at the weapon.
A mighty name for a mighty weapon. This is not critter made. It's titan craftsmanship.
At the edge of the room, the most inside part of the room, there is an immeasurable small movement of gray patterns shifting slightly.
I look over what's there.
Behind an old stool on the wall, something is moving. Some gray and black patterns shifting slightly from the ceiling. A rod or string attaches all the way up to the roof of the room, and then it stumbles down on the floor with a little chink. It's moving much faster now. It chitters with its little fangs and its little poison glands and its little feet. It's a spider.
Take a step back. How did the spider get in here? I'm trying
what?
Over there. Rug, look out. Spider, get out of my hole. What are you doing here? Pleading with Critter. Holding Cat's blinder in front of me. Keep it at distance.
Critter moves forward. It stands on its hind legs and opens its mouth wide with its fangs going out, and it spits a little bit of liquid onto you, and then it tries for the exit.
I try rolling out of the way of the spittle. Ah!
I yell at Waters. Catch him! Catch him! It is a spy!
The liquid is acid, and it sort of stings through the trousers onto your leg, and it gives 5 damage. The spider exits the room and tries to skitter out of the building.
I wince in pain on the floor, holding my leg.
I grab you, trying to put you up to your feet. Oh no, what are they doing here? We have to go.
I look where
Can you stand?
Waddles is. Yeah, I'm okay. But my fur got the worst of it. Looking at the black marks of the curling hair of my fur.
My nostrils flare a bit. I've seen your grandfather regrow that. Should be all right.
It ruined my favorite pair of trousers.
Waddles enters the room and What was that? You'll never see them around here. They're not interested in us, common folk. The spiders don't care normally. What
Could be
happened?
me. Your grandfather and I were quite famous and infamous. They could have followed me, silent as they are.
Then we must go. If a spider can get past the guards, the commoners are not safe. I don't want anyone's head on my conscience.
I have to start walking now.
Do you think maybe they'll follow you out? If we go now before the rainstorm, maybe I don't know. Maybe they'll be left here in town and sneaking around anyways.
Rain is our friend. It masks our smell. The spiders do not like it.
Then let us go. I'm not. I don't see that far in the dark or in the night. And the torches I have, they won't be useful once the drops start hitting.
We can find shelter. There are plenty in the woods. And we can camp through the night, like I said. Night is no place for creatures of our size. Owls be about.
Let's...
Let me get my spoon. Waddles skitters around and he gets a huge teaspoon made of wood. It's as long as he is, and he grabs a half-empty barrel and picks that up as well, and claims that he's ready.
Very well. Let us haste.
As he grabs the spoon, I take a minute to recover from the exhaustion, and have a drink of ale. Do we have a couple of minutes? This quite hurts, sir. But if you say it's haste, then we can run.
You may eat. You may eat. Just I will look around if you don't mind, just to make sure.
No worries.
You recover D6 plus 1, by the way.
This feels much better. Drinking down the golden dew into my body.
I come back. We found nothing in your house besides your beautiful furniture.
And it should be under the desk. There's a box. I still have some rations in there and a net. We might take those with us.
Water is what you're kindly.
Waddles goes over and just picks it up and puts it in one of his enormous pockets. It's in one of the outer cloaks he's wearing already.
Thank you, Waddles.
Rations for 3 days. That's more than enough to get us anywhere we want.
Yes, we're going to the southern pond.
All right, I'm ready for a little weekend adventure. Let's go, Sir Frog. Slick. Sorry. Manners.
Oh, it is fine. It is fine. And I take the first step, opening his front door. Let's go.
Outside of the stump, the rain clouds have gathered and tiny, tiny drops have started falling. The wind is picked up, not to the point of storm, but it howls through the autumn leaves of the enormous giant oak trees. And this fills the entire soundscape of the little group of mice heading and a frog in the opposite direction of every sensible mouse. The clearing is completely empty, also of acorns.
Now, something you should always be wary of. Always look up. The trees hide many things.
Look up. I look up at the trees towering above me. What could possibly hide up there?
Oh,
If
winged
you
beasts.
leave- A few leaves drop down slowly from the towering giants. But even beyond that, a little silhouette of something circling, looking down with its spyglass eyes. You can almost feel it searching for you. Anything that moves.
Oh, we better walk through the underbrush. I know some good spots where the big rushes will cover us from the skies.
Right.
Over here. Like, grab you by your
carry
froggy
along.
hand, by one finger, holding onto one finger.
A very slippery, moisty finger. I run along.
Waddles has grabbed his spoon and is taking the hindmost spot, looking behind the group for some reason.
Yes, always in cover. Remember, any noise, be wary. The forest is big. It should be relatively safe, though, as long as we take the precautions.
A little while later, the group approaches a meandering brook with its hasty waters filling up from the autumn rain. Too wide for a mouse to hop across. Maybe a frog could, but it looks dangerous.
Oh yes, the brook. Yes, we need to cross it.
And beyond, the dense thicket of young trees. Safety.
I've never been past the brook before. I don't know what's on the other side, Slick.
Oh, I know the path. Just extra eyes and hands. Now it is quite mighty today. I look back at you two. Do you know how to swim?
No. No. Well, of course, every mouse knows to swim, but not in this stream. Look, it looks scary. Cold. Oh, I don't. Not me. Says Waddles.
Do you have a
He sits
string?
down.
Would you have some string? My throat swallows.
Well, I got my net. I could throw it, catch onto something, but
I could carry it across, and then you hang on tight, and I pull you, one by one. You will get wet, though. Your grandfather would smell funny whenever he got wet.
well, let's hope that the winds don't pick up then. I would hate to freeze in this air. I unfurl my nets, align the tiny stones at the edges, so it opens up one throne.
I get my stick and I stick on the ground. I put my head on top of it, and I remove all my cloak. I am a naked frog now.
I look away.
Very slim, slick figure. I grab one point of the net. Very well. I shall cross it now.
Okay.
I swim inside, holding one
wow.
side. Kind of going against the current.
The ice cold brook embraces the frog, and the stream is strong and angry, trying to pull him away from his destination. Try to roll with Dex with advantage.
Dex with advantage? I swim in an angle, keeping my original vector, and soon enough, from the other edge of the brook, is a green dash out of the water, dripping with a net on one end, and I look for a pebble, and I put it against the pebble. Very well. And you can bring my clothes, please. You will get a little wet, but the net will save you. It will save you.
I'll wave towards him and turn to Wallace. Can you hear him? The brook is so loud, it's crashing into my ears. It looks like he's talking to us.
Waddles stands up and excitedly he waves his arms at the frogs and he hops up and down and like does these hand movements, like making a lot of signs, hand signs. No, he's.
My throat swallows, and I make a beckoning gesture.
We're supposed to come. Got it. I grab the end of the string from the net to pull back whatever catch I have, being the frog this time. And I turn. Oh, right. Put on the hat over my eyes. Big floppy on my head. And I take the stick. Okay, gonna start going now. Pulling myself along the string across the brook.
The ice-cold brook envelops the young mouse's body with his clothes on. He's drenching with ice-cold water. It's calling to him just to let go and just to enjoy the cold and enter the elements. Try a will with advantage. There's a voice in the brook. It commands the mouse to submerge. It wants it to be completely in the brook and just be one with the elements, be one with the autumn, be one with the water that is flowing through the world.
I yell back at Waddles, somewhere behind me. I'm not sure how far. Something's in the water. It's calling for me. They're like, I dive down a bit, like holding onto with one hand onto the edge of the rope, looking mightily distracted, getting slammed around by the brook itself.
Waddles looks terrified. He drops the spoon on the floor and the stones and just drops it and just starts walking out to catch his master, to shake him out of this stupor. And just then, the cloud is full of a feathered beast that dives towards the little group.
Distracted to find whoever is calling for me, trying to yell down the river. Who's there? Hello? Getting smashed around, drenched. Starting to cough up water as I'm having trouble speaking at all.
Seeing there's something wrong, I run towards back to the net bridge, holding onto it a bit. What is going on?
Waddles has reached the mouse and with his strong paws pulls him out of the water again. Tries to get him to sense to shake him out of it. It's the water spirits. Don't listen to them. They don't know how mice live. They don't know we need warmth.
Warmth? Oh no. Here. Is he okay? Is Terragon okay?
What spirits? I'm the master of spirits, and if a spirit needs help, then I'm there to drink it.
No, there be... how to explain? Explain it later around campfire. Just don't hearken unto unknown words. It's not wise here in the forest.
I'm walking towards the water again, undisturbed.
I walk in front of you, still naked, and I hold you by the shoulders. Terragon! Me! Look at me! And giant eyes staring at you.
What? I look up and now my eyes focus again. Slick. Oh, hey.
You got in a trance. The sirens. The brook siren.
But somebody needs my help. What is a trance?
I'll explain it later. But here, hold onto my hand.
Okay.
And I hold tight to your hand. And and you too, Waddles. We'll have to cross it together.
Waddles is standing dumbfounded. We're going back? We already crossed it. I got him across. And,
do you want to leave the net behind? I personally don't mind it.
You can get it. And just in that moment, the shadow from the sky dives down with its claws and its beak, aiming for Waddles' back, trying to catch him.
Run for cover! When I see when I start running with...
Needing another beat, I see I look at where the frog is looking. My eyes get big. And I swear up a storm as I run after him. By the mighty cheese wheel, what is that? Running.
Well, it's just barely hops to the side as enormous claws dig into the autumn soil, ripping up leaves and stones in a terrifying scream, or it takes off again, whipping its enormous wings.
I'm running towards them. My robes! Pick up my robes! There is food in it!
I got them. Still wearing your hat, I throw the stick towards you. And the bundle of clothes that is all drenched right now. Here.
I like quickly putting my hands inside the robes. I pull like this wet white grub, and then I start leaping and rebooting. Here, bird! Trying to call its attention.
It is circling around, and you hear a scream as though from a falcon, a high, echoing scream. As it's tilting to one side, you can see its silhouette clearly with its jagged wings and its sharp beak circling around for another dive.
Yeah, I throw the grub up as high as I can. Grab my claws. And now run! Find cover!
I dart to the brush, looking for a good spot to hide from the skies for me and my friends. Looking around. No, this won't do. This is too open. Oh, maybe over there.
The underbrush is closing in. Wallace is sprinting after his master, screaming incoherently as the winged beast dives down and grabs the grub with one of his claws and grabs for the frog with his other claw. Five damage.
I roll on the ground a bit. Not quite caught though. And I reach into my robe once again and pull out another small grub, more yellowish. I throw it behind and keep running.
The bird seems content for now. It hops back to the grub and screeps, and then it licks its big claw. There's still some greenish blood on
it. I'm putting on trying to put on my wet robes as I'm running.
I push away the mighty leaves from the brush, pulling them open to give an opening to my froggy friend. Over here, we have cover. I'm waving for him to make the distance.
Now with my robes, I start leaping, like hopping. My hat is way behind me.
Another terrifying scream echoes through the undergrowth all the way to the underbush. Take a will save.
Success.
The undergrowth is thick and dark and silent. Covers the sky completely in dusk.
My
Waddles,
chest.
Waddles looks around to investigate his surroundings.
My chest is puffing up and down. My second eyelids blinking. I start rubbing my face. That was a close call.
I can hear my own heart in my chest. You gotta have to lead this way from here on out, Slick. I do not know these brushes.
Yes, it is known territory for me. I've made this crossing 4 times now, and I look at you. How do you feel? We could take on a break.
I'm fine, luckily. I've dodged the worst of it. Except for being wet as a mouse.
Oh yes, I forgot that. We could
Not
warm up.
licking my arms clean.
We can start a small fire.
He takes out the barrel that he somehow has managed to carry along through all this and sets it up on a little rock by the side and makes sure it's level and so that he can open it and pour out a few drops for those who are wanting.
Collect a couple of sticks. Hopefully they're dry enough to build a small fire or break. Do you think this will do, Slick?
It should be enough for now. Yes. We should ration it though. Don't want to drink and eat everything tonight, especially because I lost most of my food on that Lar interaction.
I look back at him. You eat those? Ew, disgusting.
Oh, it'd be quite a cuisine for my kind. A delicacy. That was a meal warmer right there. Harder to find them. They grow up so fast.
I shake my head and focus back on the fire, rubbing my sticks at increasing speed. Come on, catch on, catch on.
Waddles looks like he's thinking deeply and rubs his furred forehead. If only I had my spoon, I could dig up more for you, Frog. I could dig and dig. I could find another one. Sure, I can find all sorts of. She starts to look up. Maybe I should go look for a stick in the forest.
I approach him, touching his shoulder. Much appreciated, Waddles, but do not worry. There is always opportunities to grab a snack here and there along the way. It is fine. Better go one night with an empty stomach than die.
The dried leaf catches fire from the friction and spreads it onto the small bundles of stick. Okay.
Ooh.
Holding my
The
paws
fire
out.
glitters on my waxy skin, and I approach it as well. Oh yeah, some warmth.
Soon the company of Uneasy Travels rests with shells of ale beside a roaring fire, heating the cold at bay. Everything seems fine, safe, almost.
I think
And that's
The
what.
darkness is the darkness is filling out the spaces where light before came in.
And after I mid conversation, I say, and that's what we call water spirits, Terragon.
I had no idea so they existed. It sounded like a little girl. I felt compelled.
They will sound like whatever is most convincing to you. Did you leave family behind, Terragon?
Well, my father has been gone for a couple of years now. Just like my grandfather. I never knew about my mother, so not much to return to. Except the family business.
I'm sure that once our little quest is over, there will be no shortage of female mice interested in you.
I blush.
I think so.
What are you talking about? Here, you must be starving. You're already talking crazy. I dig in my elegant clothes and pull out one ration. A giant sunflower seed. I hand it to you. Bigger than both of my hands combined.
I grab it. I very much appreciate it, but I'm not able to eat this. And I hand it back.
Why not? It's delicious and nutritious. Gives everything that a mouse body needs.
Exactly, a mouse body. Unfortunately, I require insect flesh.
Oh, I forgot. You're a carnivore.
Yes.
Well, we might eat insects too. When we have them. Yeah, I love insects. It's good.
I don't. You know, it's those chitin. They're so difficult to bite through, and they get stuck in the teeth all the time. Sometimes they scream for help. It's unsettling.
I open my mouth.
You need the right technique to open its legs. You just need to squeeze and then you can. Yeah.
Or you can swallow it whole. In my throat, like swallows.
Like touch my throat. Look at his. Like that is a big throat.
Yes. We use it for singing. And I look out into the darkness. I hope I am back at the pond during the croaking.
What is the croaking?
The fire still glistening on the side of pretty much my whole skin. Oh, the croaking is a annual ritual that my kind do. Missing it can means bad omens. Also, it is the chance we have to have spawns of our own.
Oh.
I see. Yes. Okay. Yeah. But is that it? Okay.
So
really
we are guiding you. We are guiding you to your date. Is that what we are doing?
Such a crude word. There's more than mere reproducing.
I slump a bit.
It is spiritual too, you know. And I look back at them. But you'll be paid for your troubles. I know you mice and rodents like to be repaid in pips, not only in experience. Robert.
Waters just shakes his head, looks away a little bit, dreamy almost, and he looks back at the Baron and gets up and get another drop and sits down contentedly.
Yeah, I rest my back against the root.
See. Yes, we are a civilized folk, that is true. Not some freebooters like the rats. And a sneer.
Yes, need rest.
They want everything for
read it.
free. Can you believe it? They'll just take it.
Oh,
Your
you
grandfather was a...
You have to get a tap first.
I nod.
Great Terragon was very unusual, I see. I thought almost all mice were like him, but...
Well, I don't know what he did exactly. You know, everybody talks about him as a hero. But, I mean, how are you gonna survive? From what? The goodness of the people? Because they like you? That doesn't fill bellies. That doesn't save you from the winter. You need to be prepared.
That who has friends has everything.
As the group sits around the fire and discusses various aspects of mice and frog life.
Jetzt sieht man Kleidung.
A pair of okay.
Well, are we... I'm quite warmed up now. Are we... should we go?
Are you okay? Sonola, we can't see you in the...
Yes, I need to cover the camera. So we don't see things we're not
Okay.
supposed to.
Okay. No problem.
Continue.
All right. So, as the darkness was getting deeper and the group of mice and frog sat around and talked about life, a pair of strange mice entered the circle of light cast by the fireplace with the burning fire, carrying something between them. They look very humble and bow their backs, waiting to be invited into the circle.
I look at them. Yes? If you want to share warmth, please.
Yes, can we? Yes, yes. We have food. We have walked through the thicket all day. Yeah, we're finally here. Can't believe it. Reevy here.
I
Can we come
gesture.
in?
Please do, please do. Blinking one eye at a time.
I grab the barrel and scoot closer to my froggy friend, looking at the strangers. But what brought you here, friends?
We're going to the Acorn Gate. We're going home. My name is Bay. This is Bree, my mate. Here we brought food, and the mouse gestures with his paw at a giant ant they're carrying between them. They're holding one of the legs each. It looks delicious. It looks dead.
Oh, wow.
Scrunch over. My little finger with suckers are like, oh, I would very much be appreciated. Thank you.
We just need somewhere to stay for the night. We just need some warmth and some quiet and just before we enter the dangerous field.
So you're
We'd
going
love
to
to share the
Acorn's
food with you.
Gate? Yes, you're going to Acorn's Gate, huh? The brook is quite mighty this day. Be wary when crossing it. There be sirens there. Water spirits.
Well, maybe the brook has calmed down by tomorrow. You know.
I would not count on it.
Oh, but that sounds worrying. Is the fall really that far along that the brook is calling out already? We need to hurry home, Bree. We're already late. Oh, but we need to stay the night. They lay the dead ant by the fire, and it's quite clear that there's a huge mushroom growing out of its head, a toadstool of sorts, and one growing out of its belly and one growing out of its hind body as well. The mice claim that those are very tasty as well. They've been eating them.
I inspect the ant, like, trying to ponder, see if it is actually healthy to eat or not, as I rib it.
Mushrooms can be quite tasty, but there's all sorts of them.
Living creatures should not bear mushrooms.
Closer inspection, the ant looks to be almost molded through. There's a little web of molds here and there on it, and the mushroom seems to have, pretty much perforated its body.
I grab the ant, and I separate its abdomen from the rest. Strands of fungi in between. This is not good. Where did you find this? I would not advise eating this one.
The female mouse Bree sits down, exhausted. She has not said a word yet. But Bay is optimistic. They were just lying around, he said. Plenty of food for all the mice. It's important to bring this back to the settlement for the winter.
I turn to Waddles and ask, Waddles, you know your way around the garden, digging up seeds and stuff. Have you seen mushrooms like those before?
Waddles looks up from his acorn shell. His eyes are a bit blurred over, but he assures you that he does. He looks at the mushroom and sniffs the mushroom and takes a bite out of it. I have not tasted it. I have not tasted this before. It's okay.
One word of wisdom. I put the diablum back in on the ground. You do not consume that which is dead for unknown reasons. It is not wise.
Bay is a little bit confused. Do you have anything else? Are you sure? He's just. Are you a doctor, Mr. Frog? Could you please check out my beloved? I'm sorry to impose on you people. We are out here in the woods. We need to help each other, right?
What is wrong? I'm no doctor, especially not in mice, but I may know a thing or two.
She's not feeling well. She's very tired. Really, really tired.
Did she eat anything unusual?
Bay looks down at the ant and looks over at the mushroom and looks back at the frog. Nothing unusual. Mushrooms, insects.
These mushrooms? I point with my slick finger at the ant.
Bay takes another bite. It's tasty. Really good.
Well,
Yes.
I know something that can help.
I look at the ants and I look at Slick, seeing his the worrying look on him, and I look at the mice and say, "Don't worry about these mushrooms. You won't need them. Here, take this." I grab into my cloak and pull out the sunflower seed again. Eat something you're familiar with. It's quite tasty.
Wait. Before you eat, I pointed the one who's eating. You should puke.
What?
Regurgitate. Yes.
Why? And Brie as well? Are you sure?
If you feel strange, well, it is. Well, take what you will from my words, but if you feel strange, regurgitation can help. It's what I do.
The two young mice do everything they can to follow the advice of the wise ancient frog. And
He
as they hover between.
He has seen a lot in the world and has survived more than one winter.
Okay. We believe you, Frog. And they look suppressed. They look almost broken as they sit there. There are cramps some here and there.
Feeling,
do you need help?
Feeling incredibly awkward by this, put the barrel next to Waddle, knowing it's secure with him. I'm gonna go out and hunt before we sleep. So I'll be back later.
Oh, you should not go alone, Terragon.
I won't be far.
Do you know what owls be?
No.
Do you remember the bird that attacked us?
Oh yeah.
Now imagine something 3 times as large to all directions. Its eyes look like an orange moon. And the worst part, it is as silent as as air. You do not hear it approaching. The last thing you can feel are claws piercing through you. I've heard they feed you to their young. I've seen one fly before. No sound whatsoever. They're like ghosts.
Everything is dangerous, Slick, but I still have to hunt. You're gonna need something to eat. Especially you.
I can survive with one grub for tonight. I'd say we go in the morning when light comes. We can hunt together. But not now. Because if you are hungry now, you're not the only one hungry here in the woods. And you're not the smallest, you're not the biggest critter there is. If you're hungry, they're hungry.
I understand your worry, but I'll just set up a trap with the nets. How about that? I'll be back before you know it. Just need to find a good spot. I take my leave, disappearing into the shadows.
I stand up. Waddles? Let's go after him.
I don't have my spoon anymore. Maybe we can find a stick. And then he follows you.
Here, I hand him an unlit torch.
He ignites the torch because he knows that is his job. The underbush around.
Looking for a good spot deep in the soft soil. Seeking a stick. Looking for something to attach the nets to. Fashioning a trap. This spot might work.
It's almost dark in the underbush, and it's full of all sorts of little sticks and stones, and but then there's a gray substance as well that sort of catches the paw. It's kind of hard to see what it is in the darkness. It seems to be sticking to some of the surfaces. A fibrous material.
Whatever that is, I should not approach it. I have to finish my job over here. Come on, start like strengthening the bond of the net, making sure that it snaps in place. Looking for some bait I can place there. I snap off bits of the sunflower seeds to as a bait for some grubs or even a worm to pull on the trap.
Soon the trap is set, lying on the floor, covered with the leaves and branches, and the grub just sits there, unable to escape from its destiny. The trap will spring.
Okay. I smell the air as a mouse would, and follow my scent back towards the ale, being the strongest scent I can remember. It's getting so dark.
Meeting Waddles and the frog on the way back. Waddles is startled when he looks at your paws. He exclaims, "What is that?"
What is what?
Your paws. You're lucky you escaped it. You know you should never touch the spider's web. It's dangerous. I heard.
Oh God!
Ah, thank the heavens you're fine. Let us go back now. Looking up. It's not safe to be here in the open.
Okay. I did see something gray in the distance, but I'm not gonna check, of course.
Let us hurry. In the morning, we'll take care of these things. Can I scuttle back to the little hole we found ourselves?
With great difficulty, I pull off the remnants of the webbing from my paws, stretching it, snapping it off. Ah. Sticks everywhere.
It's some nasty stuff. Let me help you to claw it off. As Warden starts talking about that there might be spiders in the thicket. It might be a spider thicket, but it's just a kid story. He tells himself.
I did not forget our previous encounter. We should take turns while we sleep. Watch
Up
us.
until yesterday, I thought spiders are just scary monsters to keep you at home at night.
No, there are many. There are covens. Mischievous they are. Untrustworthy. And sometimes tasty.
The two mice that were hosted so kindly by the group seem to have worsened in their condition. One of them is moaning silently almost, bending over and rocking back and forth as though in pain, delirious.
Oh no.
What's going on? Are you okay? I like run over to hold their shoulder, like inspect them, talking to them, to trying to get answers. Speak to me, Bree.
Bree mutters incomprehensibly. She's saying that she is in great pain. Her stomach hurts. But
Terragon?
they ensures you that they will make it through the night. He looks at the mice with a sweaty face. His eyes are completely bloodshot. And you notice that there is something forming on his side of his head. We keep scratching it.
How can we help them, Slick? Slick, we must help them.
I hurry a bit. How do you regurgitate? Make them regurgitate. That may slow whatever is happening to them. What do you need?
I look confused. See Bree in pain. I'm like, how? I mean, it's not gonna help. She's suffering.
Very well. How do you make mice regurgitate?
I mean,
do it.
I take my hand and push it. Push it into her mouth to trigger the reflex. Okay. Make her throw up.
almost unconscious, but still in at the power of the element of the body and the sickness. She somehow follows your lead, and like you can feel her teeth around your wrist, gnawing something, but then she drops to the side and seems to no more be in pain. Just lies there.
Now let her rest. Keep her warm. And
Faye is now in serious pain. Small mushrooms are forming from the neck of the dead mouse. Just small mushrooms everywhere.
I cannot see what's going on.
It's mushrooms on the partner's body. It's growing out of the fur. It's growing from the back. It's growing from the cheek.
Oh, I'm afraid he might be gone. We should drag him away from the fire. I would not think it's safe to be around those. I look at Waddle. Did you eat it, Waddle?
Waddle furiously shakes his head. He looks a bit sweaty, but he spits many times and
It was just an evil. It should be alright, but if you feel strange, regurgitate.
Yes.
I approach the fallen one with the mushroom sprouting out of its four nostrils and ears. This is bad. And I touch his chest to see if he's still breathing.
The chest is still. But there is a jittering at one of the paws. It just jitters ever so slightly. The other mouse, basically lying next to her in cramps, yammering incomprehensibly. The mushrooms seem to grow ever so slightly.
Afraid we cannot help them any longer. Being that they are mice just like you, I'll let you decide how to handle this. But in Frogdom, we often cut short our suffering of our beloved ones when such an illness come.
I've never killed somebody before. I stand up, letting go of Bree as she's herself stammering, and
the female one might still could be saved, perhaps, but I'm afraid the male there's nothing we can do to him or for him.
I grab my hook, stick, my pole arm. I look down. I hope you will find the great cheese wheel. As I lower its blade to the neck. And slice their throats open.
There's a thing in mice I did. and though they seem relieved somehow of something much worse, they seem at peace.
I approach Terragon. I'm sorry.
Hearing the crackling of the fire, I'm looking solemnly at the bodies. I'm sorry too.
At least you know their names. They will not be forgotten. And they are in peace now. And I let this long rhythmic croak. We should not. I know it may be uncomfortable to you, warm-blooded, and I put myself on the ground and grab the tail of one. But we should drag them out of the campfire. I would not. I don't think it's safe to be around, close near the sprouts. I start dragging over my shoulder one of the bodies.
I guess we should. I take the other tail and disappear into the shadows, disposing of the bodies.
And with that, I believe we should end the session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay! Thanks, guys.
Mausritter
It is
is
3
a
o'clock.
fun game with little critters, where we explore the vast enchanted forest. It's not metal at all.
Yeah, we got murder. We got euthanasia.
I would not call it murder, right? There's a different word for what we did. It's not.
It's
is
mercy
it an
killing.
Execution?
Yeah.
Mercy killing.
Yeah.
It's legal in some countries.
Yeah, euthanasia. It's euthanasia. It's called. Good death.
Euthanasia, yeah. Like,
Oh yeah.
but that's with chemicals.
Exactly.
I've
No,
never
we don't
killed
have
somebody
chemicals.
before. Why are you asking me to slay my kid? Why?
Yeah, well, you should. It's only right that the mice should, do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it would be easy if you did it.
All right.
Yeah, but like,
I know we
I
don't
don't
have
know.
much time, so let's sum up. Like,
yeah, we have to be faster, right? That was the
yes.
thing.
Any pointers that you really want to bring up? Solbeer, you finally got to Dungeon Master with us for us. So how was it?
It was really interesting. A lot of fun. I don't know if you know what I say, but I enjoyed myself.
I
Every hit fun, so. There's a bit of jittery things here and there, but I'm fairly satisfied that I was able to bring stuff into the situations, and I did not have to say, you see this and you see that. And I tried using sort of a mouse narrator voice here and there, just like instead of saying what was, I was like telling the story of what was in the surroundings here and there. And I also experimented a bit with the time skipping a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think some of that was okay, and we had some troubles in the beginning, for sure. Like we weren't sure what
I wanted
surroundings
to
were.
when I said that let me get my belongings. I wanted to time skip to taking the mantle of my grandfather and the stick, but then Nicholas also said oh, but what about your grandfather's things? Like, I know, Nicholas, you don't need to spell it out for me. Like, I know, but both ways is fine, I guess. I was trying to make it a smooth. I'm not sure how to summon. How do I summon? Summon cutscene,
I got that you wanted to do a time skip because we had little time. So yeah, we should be on the road as fast as possible. So I just said that as into we're gonna. Oh yeah, let's grab that and be here, you know. And I thought that would be the time skip, but we had the spider encounter. But
Why
the
is the
spider
spider
encounter
in
was
my home? I have no idea. Hello?
what?
Can you repeat that?
Well, who, me?
Yes.
Okay, for me the confusing part was the time skip out of the apartment. When the wizard was walking outside and he was talking about being in a room, and there was he was talking about suddenly being a room because he was entering the scene that we were in, but then you were entering the scene that he could have been in outside by the hill.
I was teleported.
And there was a bit of there, but I think it can be fixed very, very easily by just putting one sentence describing the surroundings.
Yeah, I was like, I'm outside of the stump village. I just entered the stump village and I approached the first mice. That was my idea. So, you know, I thought he was like looking at me through a window or something. And he's like, oh, look, what a weird guy, you know? And then turns out the weird guy is going to be your companion for the rest of the adventure.
Oh, did I do that? Oh.
Yeah, you inserted yourself as that mouse, which is totally fine. And I was a bit slow to describe the random passersby, so you inserted yourself there.
Yeah.
So because we don't have much time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe how was it for you? How did you like the game?
Well, I needed a bit to get into the skin at the start. Like, yeah, we were like setting up OBS. I was setting up OBS, getting background image, putting on some music. So I wish I took like, 15 minutes before to think more like, what would I say? What do I like? What is my character? I did not have with other games. I have like stoic and like, or loving or like empathetic. In this game, I've had like with the birth star, but I did not use those.
I ignored mine.
Yeah, I ignored them. So pretty much like came up with a personality as we went. So yeah, that's what I think. For me, those are my thoughts.
I enjoyed it. I was trying to like keep reminding me like I'm somewhat of an alien, you know. So he doesn't like really like, he knows mice because of the grandfather, but like he doesn't understand them as much, you know. So he judged that everyone must be like the grandfather, you know. Like, oh yeah, you need warmth, you know, like you should not be catching rain and wind all the time. Stuff like that.
Yeah. I was also like trying to describe like I'm pulling open this underbrush. Like it's a huge leaf. It's like opening a gate into another world, you know. That's what I come here, run in. So like then I let go and it will like slap back in place, you know, into the bird's face if I can. That was like what I was aiming for.
That was not my mental image. I was like, we're like below some roots or something, you know, like that's kind of what there's some foliage maybe. Yeah, I was confused in some moments. So that's why I stayed quiet most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was like, I'll let them like make the thing clear without me having to ask.
With the web, I was like, here's my net. And you jump over the other side, so I'm like, wait, but it's a net. So you want to like build a bridge? But that's not what I was thinking. I was thinking, okay, so the net is attached to a rope. I throw the net and I pull on the rope to like whatever I catch, I pull it back. So I'm like grabbing the rope and like swimming, basically like pulling myself through the water. But you guys imagine something completely different? And like every time somebody talked, I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I'm just like trying to like muggle my way through the sea.
Yeah, it was confusing. But I thought we were just making like kind of a bridge, just so like you can hold on to something if you get dragged, you know, and just like literally a safe net. That was my
Oh,
mental
okay.
image.
So like the net is big enough to cross the brook itself.
Apparently.
I was imagining a rope across the brook that you had somehow arranged, and then
Yeah.
you could
That's
keep.
fine.
And then,
Yeah. You know, it
Yeah.
kind of worked, so I guess it's fine.
Yeah, like every time we say
Yeah.
brook, I imagine this vast river that's like fucking
Oh
storming
yeah.
past me.
For,
Because
for
we are
us
mice.
should be yeah.
Yeah,
for mice, it is something like that.
exactly.
Yeah,
but-
exactly. That's
Yeah.
you know, something funny because I was keeping like usually when I play, I'm usually like in third person, like I'm seeing like my guy doing things. But for this one, I was trying to get into first because okay, everything needs to be big. You know, I need to visualize.
Yeah.
So that was a mental exercise for me.
Did you like that I made you tall? Like I'm looking up at you. Did you like that?
Yeah, I guess I'm like slimmer, so I'm, like if I stand up straight, I'm a little like tallish. But yeah.
Yeah, for some reason in my head I was thinking, oh, the frog should be taller, you know? I'm the Hobbit, you're the Gandalf, so I'm looking up at you like like a foot taller than me.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, but in mouse metrics.
Yeah. At the end there, like something that like I like that was something that I just happened at the end that I did, and I thought it was cool. Like when he said like something like, "Oh, I know that you're warm-blooded, like may find this uncomfortable" or something like that. Then it came to me like, yeah, I should be playing more into that, you know?
Yeah, that was cool. I liked it.
Because like he's not a mammal, so like you know, like the touch is a form of affect. That these kind of things that most mammals have, like he doesn't have that.
Yeah.
That was nice.
So
I think that was a nice contrast between the different species. Like the frog was a stranger to mouse, not what was normal for mice. That's how I felt about it.
it's like getting naked, you know, like yeah, you know, I'm just getting naked here. I'm gonna swim.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wish
Just know that
I wish we had more turns with the combat with the bird, like more
Oh, yeah.
interactions between like, and it's flying
We're trying
towards
to run
you,
away
like-
from it.
Yeah, the claws in like in melee distance basically, because we basically never had a chance to attack him first, this way, like
But there was no reason to, right?
I mean
Like
they
the
were like
spider would be a fair fight, but the bird is like that's a
yeah,
griffin.
it would not be fair, but I'm like looking for opportunities to sue something. It was either it's in the
okay.
air and it hit us, so I felt like okay, there's nothing I can do because I don't know how to force a turn or like get in between. So I'm running away instead. So so that was like a bit
And you
confusion
lived.
with how to do it with the system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think you could have described that you had your bill hook ready and like trying to catch its feet as it's
Yeah.
flying by or something like that, and you would be able to
Yeah.
roll the damage on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I had to use 2 of my 3 rations just to make the bird go away, you know.
I was thinking with the first grab, I was thinking, oh, you're casting a spell. With the second grab, it's like, oh, this is your food.
Exactly.
All right, yeah, it's time. Last words,
Yeah.
Solmir.
No, thanks. It was great. Let's do this again sometime.
Yeah, all right.
Same. Let's continue.
I'm stopping
Bye-bye,
the
man.
recording.